Hey, everybody, how are you? We wrap up the week here on If You Don't Like That. Hope you're on your way to a great weekend. We've got a lot to talk about on this show. The Kings, the NFL, and a special announcement coming your way next week right here on If You Don't Like That. Could you imagine being fortunate enough to draft a player that is arguably the best defensive player in football? I'm talking about Micah Parsons because I think he is the best defensive player in football. If he's not, he's on a short list, okay? And then you, as an owner, Jerry Jones, mess this up to such a degree that your stud defensive player wants to leave your organization. How awful is that? Seriously. 3 years in the league, and Micah Parsons doesn't want to play for the Dallas Cowboys anymore. I mean, that's awful. Absolutely awful. That's incredible to me. It's incredible to me how you can have a player that, to me, is the best defensive player in the National Football League, and you make it to a point where he doesn't want to be there anymore. Unbelievable. Really, unbelievable. All right, the Kings and the rumors with Jonathan Kuminga, Malik Monk, a protected first-round pick in 2030, and the Warriors say no, and the money and the news that the Kings have promised him a starting spot. What does that do for the Kings? I don't understand this at all. I'm sorry. I don't understand this at all. We'll talk about that on today's show. All right, so the announcement next week, Wednesday, okay? Wednesday, and as of right now, 5 o'clock Pacific time. The 5 o'clock Pacific time is not etched in stone yet. On Monday, it will be etched in stone. But Wednesday is going to be a huge day for this channel. Huge. I mean, huge. Trust me on this. Big time. Okay? You're not going to say, gee, Napes, you strung me along and this is what you have to tell me? No, this is going to be big time. All right? So Wednesday. And right now, 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock. All right, so where do you want to go today? You want to go NFL? You want to go Kings? So you're going to trade Malik Monk, or you're going to offer Malik Monk and a protected 2030 first-round pick, which the Warriors don't want, for Kuminga, and you're going to guarantee him a starting job? See, I don't like that. I'm not promising him a starting role. I'm not promising him that at all. What do you think this is, charity? If you're better than what I have on the floor, then yes. I'm not promising you a starting position. Why? I mean, Jonathan Kuminga hasn't done anything in his career where you got to kiss his ass already before you even get him. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Seriously. What's Jonathan Kuminga done in his NBA career in the first couple of seasons that you got to kiss his butt and promise him this and promise him that? I'm sorry. Sorry. Doesn't make sense. All right? I don't get it. What's going through Monk's mind during that trade offer? Listen, Malik Monk's been in the rumor mill since the end of June, the beginning of July in free agency. Oh, he's going to be in the sign and trade for Dennis Schroeder. Oh, the Kings are going to do a sign and trade, and the Pistons are getting Malik Monk. And, well, that didn't happen. Now we're in August. It's August 1st. All right? So, I mean, Kingston says, granted, I hear that Cousins wants his jersey retired by the Kings. Really? He's delusional with a capital D. It's just sad that he's that delusional. It's incredible. Seriously. Yeah, I'm with you, Grant. Growing a little tired of the Kuminga stuff. Again, it's just rumors, but I'm not promising him anything. I'm not promising him anything. If I trade for Kuminga, I'm not promising him a starting role. Why? And how does that solve the Kings' problems right now? Based on what they have, Schroeder and Levine are your backcourt, and you have DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, and Sabonis up front. What are you going to do? You're going to tell you're going to move Keegan Murray to 3, and then have Kuminga and Sabonis, and what do you do with DeMar DeRozan? How many times did DeMar DeRozan carry the team last year? Just doesn't. I don't see how it works. I really don't. Someone put the full Kings broadcast of the Kings Bulls 09 on YouTube, and I rewatched it all. You did a fantastic job that night. What are some things you remember about calling that game? Listen, I don't mean to be disrespectful to you. Are you talking about the comeback game? That was after 09, yes? Or has that much time passed? All right. So can you be more specific? Is that the game you're referring to? Are we going back that far? Or I was just which game are you referring to? King Sound says Kings sound desperate, promising things to a player who hasn't proved anything in my eyes. I don't know why they would do that either. I really don't. I don't. Yeah, the comeback game. All right. What I remember the most is in the middle of the third quarter when the Kings were down 35 and the Kings called a timeout. And I said to Jerry, if you're Paul Westphal, what are you telling the team right now? He said, I'm telling the team right now, don't even worry about the scoreboard. Don't even look at the score. Go out and play. Just keep playing. Don't worry about the scoreboard. I remember Tyreek Evans being brilliant. I remember just I guess the momentum swing in that game was so unbelievable. But you could sense that from a Bulls perspective, the roof was caving in on them. And I don't normally say this, but I have said that it's impossible to announce a perfect game, and I've never done it. And I did the NBA for 32 years. I did the NFL. I did the NHL. I've never broadcast a perfect game. But I really felt that fourth quarter of basketball was maybe the best quarter of basketball I've ever announced. And I remember when the Kings won, and I said, somehow, some way, the Sacramento Kings found a way to win this game. But when I said somehow, some way, the Sacramento Kings, like everything just flowed out of my mouth like perfectly. And I don't normally say that, but I was really proud of the fourth quarter that we did. Jerry was incredible in that fourth quarter. He was great. And then after the game, when Paul Westphal was doing his post-game press conference, he said, what did you tell your team when you were down 35? He said, I told them, don't look at the scoreboard. Don't worry about the scoreboard. It's exactly what Jerry said. Is the announcement that I'm sponsored by FanDuel? No, because that doesn't mean anything to you. I'm just telling you, this is something that is not, you just wait. All right, you can wait. You wait. I think you're going to be blown away. All right? I think you're going to be blown away. People are acting like Kuminga is the next Karl Malone. Am I missing something? Oh, gosh. That's funny. I don't know. I'm fine with keeping Malik Monk. I really am. I understand that if you're the Kings and you're not relevant, you have to take chances. And this would be taking a chance with the money, the red flags, already catering to him, and he's not even on your team. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of that. I'm just not. I'm not a fan of it. All right. Don't forget, Wednesday, big announcement. Right now, I'm thinking 5 o'clock. It's not etched in stone. Monday will be etched in stone. Okay? Wednesday. Big announcement. Big. Capital B, capital I, capital G. Big announcement. Wednesday. Right here on If You Don't Like That. Am I still a Yankees fan? If so, thoughts on the team. I am not a guy that watches a lot of baseball. I think they've ruined the game. I have trouble watching baseball now. I don't like the way the game is played. I don't like it at all. Brian Cashman, to me, is the most overrated general manager in baseball. I don't understand how he remains general manager, and I'm fully aware they won the pennant last year. But when you look at the talent, when you look at the payroll, and they haven't won a World Series since, 2009, and the one constant has been Brian Cashman, I think it's time for a managerial change in Aaron Boone. It just doesn't make sense to me. Just doesn't. I think they're a poorly constructed team. I think that they make poor decisions with personnel in terms of mega contracts. That's what I think of it. Who do I think will have more wins this year, the Jets or the Giants? I think the Jets, just because of the Giants' schedule. The Giants' schedule is brutal. Brutal. Says, hey, what's up, Grant? Been a long time. All right. Been a long time. I moved to Portland shortly after you were screwed over. I used to call you on 1140 back in the day. Appreciate that. How are things in Portland, man? Do you like it or not? Happy to have your support. So I was talking with Rhino the other day, and just so you know, my announcement is not affecting anything that we're doing as it relates to our King shows, our post-game show. We're going to do 82 post-game shows again this year. So I just want to let you know this announcement is going to be phenomenal for this channel, and I'm very excited about it. So I don't want you to think, gee, you're not going to be. No, we're coming at you full steam. Okay, I want this to be the place that fans go for their Kings information, and particularly the post-game shows. So I'm very excited about that. Very excited about that. Miami Sports Vibes, agree, long overdue with Boone. Yep, absolutely. Totally agree with that. Totally agree. Hey, don't forget, all right, your weekend brunch at Bennett's, whether it's Sacramento Roseville or the West Side Grill in Rockland. Prime seafood and steaks at Bennett's. Get down there tomorrow and Sunday. Make a reservation for their brunch. Bennett'sRestaurants.com. Say hello to Brian and everyone. That's Bennett'sRestaurants.com. And I will be there in a couple of weeks. I can't wait when I get back to Sacramento. Can't wait. Looking forward to my visits to Bennett's when I'm in town. Love it. Absolutely love it. Did I touch on Cousins saying the King should retire his jersey? I don't know what to say to that. The guy's just delusional. I really don't know what else to say. Seriously. I don't know what to say. I need to do a meet and greet for the fans. I've done that before when I've been in Sacramento. Matter of fact, when the Kings were last in the playoffs, I did shows with Rhino at restaurants for watch parties, which is a meet and greet. We've had functions at Bennett's and a meet and greet. So yeah, I'm happy to do that. I love talking with the fans. All right. Happy to do that. Happy to do that. That's why I love the fans, man. Love it. Grant partnered up with a big sponsor. Again, you just have to wait until Wednesday, okay? I love all the guessing. Wednesday will be here before you know it. It will be here before you know it. What are you doing this weekend? August, right? Vacations? You watching baseball? I'm not. Get ready for boring preseason football that starts in earnest next week? No. Seriously, it's a dead time of the year in the sports world. I do not get in at all to preseason football. Grant, I love and respected your comments on Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. I was a big Mahmoud fan. I really found him to be very introverted, very quiet, would have a laugh sometimes, very professional, just could shoot the lights out, obviously extremely devoted to his faith. I can't say a bad word about Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. I enjoyed being around him. I really did. And I've always said this. I don't care what religion you are. It doesn't matter to me. Again, I've tried to simplify this as best as I can. You're either a good person or you're not. I don't care what your religion is. All right? I don't have to understand your religion. It doesn't matter whether I understand your religion or not. All that matters is, are you a good person or not? That's how I judge you. How do I think Aaron Rodgers will do for the Steelers? I'm skeptical about it. Am I moving to Thailand? No, not yet anyway. Maybe in the future. All right? Wednesday is going to take 2 years to get here, Grant. I wouldn't mind living in Thailand. Have you been in Thailand? You would understand why I would say that. But I do go to Thailand every year, and I do spend a significant amount of time over there. Grant, are you good friends with Greg Papa? Prayers to him. I am friends with Greg Papa. I have a lot of respect for Greg. I saw the announcement earlier today, and I am thinking of him and praying for him and wishing him the very best. I've always enjoyed my time with Greg. We've always, when we see each other, we spend significant time talking, and I have a lot of respect for him. So I am, like most people should be, praying for him. One of the great voices in the history of Bay Area sports. I'm anticipating Wednesday like it's Christmas. You should anticipate Christmas on Wednesday. That's exactly what it's going to be like. Very good. So far, the best tweet of the day. All right. Do I go to Thailand with the family or solo? Both. Although my two boys have never been to Thailand, but I've been to Thailand 3 times with my wife. But I also go solo. It just depends. Of course, is Aaron Rodgers a top 10 quarterback of all time or close to top 10? No, I think he's clearly top 10 of all time. Now, I know that you're going to say, well, he's only won 1 Super Bowl. His postseason record's not very good. And I understand that. But to me, he's a top 10 quarterback of all time. How was Tariq Abdul-Wahad? I always thought he could have been better. Me too. He was very talented. Formerly Olivier St. Jean, right? I agree with you. I thought he could have been better too. Totally agree with that. Supreme athlete. Am I a bigger NHL or New York Giants fan? Giants. Big NHL fan, not bigger than the Giants. The Giants is my religion, by the way. Hey, don't forget about New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. Call that number on your screen, the website, or newworksplumbing.com, NEWWRXplumbing.com, New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. And remember, folks, they're available around the clock, 24/7 for your plumbing needs and repairs. Once again, New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. Don't forget, Wednesday, I think it's going to be 5 o'clock. Huge, huge announcement. Huge. Like, I mean, big time. Coming up on this channel right now, 5 o'clock Wednesday. I don't have the 5 o'clock etched in stone, but I'll announce it on Monday, and it will be etched in stone on Monday. And you're not going to go, gee, Grant, you made me sweat this all weekend and all week, and that's all you have to say. No, it's not going to be like that. What do I want to see from Russell Wilson this season? I want to see consistency, and I want to see him be able to get the team in the end zone and the red zone. Those are the two things. But consistency. You know, when someone asks me, do I go to Thailand alone, or do I have no problem traveling alone. I love traveling. So it just depends. What do I think about Damian Lillard returning to Portland? Everyone's pretty excited here in the city. When the news broke, everyone was wearing his jersey around town. He is Mr. Portland. I just wonder how long it's going to take for him to get on the floor because of his Achilles. What will we see from Russell Wilson this season? Checkdowns. Well, I know one thing, Cody. They better figure out a way to get the ball down the field to Malik Neighbors, correct? Right? But you're right. There will be a lot of checkdowns. That's very true. Cody being a big-time Broncos fan, yes. I hope he's better than he was when he was with your team. I hope so. Cody, I don't really put a lot in the training camp. I just don't. But I mean, the people that I know that cover the Giants have been raving to me about Russell Wilson. They said he's looked great in camp, which I'd rather have the guy look great than bad. Okay, but still, take that for what it's worth. I wish it would be that he was back calling Kings games. Then the season wouldn't suck that much. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Cody says, let's hope so. Cody, how about the Micah Parsons in Dallas? I opened up the show with that. How awful of an owner is Jerry Jones that you can take arguably the best defensive player in football and have him not want to play for your team anymore? Oh, my gosh. That's horrible. Horrible. Russell Westbrook? Why do you want Russell Westbrook, Dennis? But, when I think about Russell Wilson and his career, I mean, he was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, right? And then he went to Denver and it didn't work out. And now he's got a new lease, right? I mean, you want to talk about Pittsburgh. He's got a new lease now. All right. A new start with a team that's not expected to do very much. We'll see. All right. Ridiculous. Pay Micah the max. I think he's the best defensive player in football. All right. I think he's the best defensive player in football. I would agree. That's great if Russell Wilson was looking good, but I thought the Giants' problem was their offensive line. It is a problem. You're right. And that's why you have to have a quarterback that's mobile. But that is a problem. That is a problem. Just trade rumors, Grant, a big piece of the trade drop today. I know. I'm following the rumors, but wake me up when it happens, Dennis. People comparing LT and Parsons are on drugs. Yeah, I don't know if I would compare Parsons to LT. I would think, to me, I want to be very careful how I say this. I've been watching football since the early 60s. That's scary to say. I've watched all the great defensive players in the National Football League. Lawrence Taylor, to me, is the greatest defensive player to ever live. And we can go, there's a list of great defensive players. To me, Lawrence Taylor is number one. After watching Micah Parsons for the first couple of years in his career, he does remind me of Lawrence Taylor. Because his career is still in its infancy, I can't put him in the same sentence like you did, or you didn't, but you were saying people comparing him to Lawrence Taylor. Name me another defensive player that you would compare to Lawrence Taylor. You got to put two hats on Parsons. He runs incredibly fast side to side. He is a guy that gets to the quarterback. He runs down ball carriers from behind, from across the field. He makes many tackles behind the line of scrimmage. There's not a tackle in football that can block him. You need help. You got to chip block him. So, I mean, he does look like Lawrence Taylor to a degree, does he not? Right? The problem is that he doesn't show up in big games. Well, the Cowboys aren't in big games. I mean, they haven't been in a lot of big games. No, you didn't miss the announcement Wednesday. Hey, Grant, you know how to keep us locked into your show. Just hope you are blessed with great news for yourself. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that. Grant, week one, the Packers came out throwing deep versus the Eagles, and Jordan Love injured his knee. Packers became run first, though I think Green Bay stays conservative. I think, based on what I've seen from Jordan Love, no. I don't think they stay conservative. I think they have a lot of confidence in him, Cody. You know, when you look at the game that he had, not last year, but the year before against Dallas in the playoffs, I think that's the Jordan Love that the Packers know they have, that they want on the field on Sundays, and I think that's what you're going to see. I think that's what you're going to see. Ray Lewis, no. Ray Lewis, great defensive player, no question. He might be 2 on the list, not better than Lawrence Taylor, in my opinion. Parsons, come to the Niners, please. Yeah, you would love that, wouldn't you? Very, very true. Yeah, he was on the field when Jordan Love and the Packers destroyed them. That's true. Lawrence Taylor's team got destroyed too sometimes, all right? So, I mean, there are other reasons why that happened. I mean, but to me, and Ray Lewis is in the conversation. There's no doubt about that. But, I mean, I go back to great defensive players in the 60s and the 70s, and they were great, great defensive players during that era. I mean, it's subjective, first of all. But when you have to game plan your entire week of work around one player, I mean, ask Joe Gibbs about that. Playing the Giants, the whole week was, how are we going to block 56? So Joe Jacoby? Joe Jacoby and a running back? Joe Jacoby and a tight end? Maybe. But Joe Jacoby? All-pro tackle? No contest. I agree, Grant. Ray Lewis is nothing compared to LT. He's not Lawrence Taylor. I would agree with that. How do I think the Raiders will do? I think that they'll be 7 wins. I'm with you. 7 to 8. That's where I'm at. Same here, Grant. Ed Too Tall Jones. Ed Too Tall Jones was a hell of a player, man. He really was. But, I mean, when I think about the Cowboys, I mean, from Bob Lilly, right? I mean, I can go on and on. I'm just mentioning great players that I remember on defense. I mean, I don't even know where to go with the Cowboys. I mean, they had great defensive backs. They had great defensive linemen, great linebackers. I mean, you look at the history of the Cowboys, You talk about Ed Too Tall Jones. I mean, I can go on and on. I mean, there's just too many to name. Joe Gibbs underrated? I don't think he's underrated, no. Max Crosby is on the way to be great. Yes, he is. He's one of the best defensive players in football today. No doubt about it. No question. I mean, when you think about great defensive players of all time, Reggie White's on that list. I mean, Ray Lewis is on the list. You know, where do you put a Dick Butkus? He's on the list. You talk about Jack Lambert, Mike Singletary. I mean, I always look at middle linebacker being such a pivotal position. I remember Mike Curtis, the great middle linebacker for the Colts in the 60s and the 70s. I mean, that guy could freaking ball. Number 32, middle linebacker. Great. Great. To me, I think you're going to have a hard time picking a player that had a bigger impact than Lawrence Taylor had. Charles Woodson, Ed Reed, Bruce Smith, all excellent, nowhere near Lawrence Taylor. What's my take on the Redskins name coming back? I'm not offended by it. I think it's been overblown. I could at least see that name being replaced, but the Indians, the Cleveland Indians, I mean, come on now. Bruce Smith, yes. Bruce Smith was a great player. No doubt about it. I mean, Bruce Smith, great player, not Lawrence Taylor. I really like that win, even though I hate the Cowboys. Very good player. Cody, I think we all feel the way you do about Greg Papa and beating this cancer. We're all praying for him. John Randall was a great player, but he not Lawrence Taylor. Different position, obviously. I already said Reggie White. Reggie White's in the conversation. Here's the problem with this is where do you include defensive players all the way back to when we're talking about Dick Butkus? I mean, is that how far back are we going? How far back are we going? Seriously. I saw great defensive players in the 60s and the great 70s. I mean, I can go on and on. Yeah, Derek Thomas, Neil Smith, tremendous defensive players, always gave John Elway problems. They gave a lot of people problems. A lot of people problems. And on and on and on. You're right, John. And on and on and on. But we won't be going on and on and on with me teasing what's coming up Wednesday, because Wednesday, when I make the announcement, right now it's scheduled at 5 o'clock. Yeah. Wow. Get your pom-poms out, boys and girls. Get your pom-poms out. Get them ready. Get your popcorn ready. Zach Thomas and Junior Seau, excellent players. Not Lawrence Taylor. If I were drafting an all-time defense, LT has to be number one pick. Reggie White, close second. I don't disagree with that. I think you're spot on. If I had to say, I would go Lawrence Taylor, Reggie White. Definitely. Different eras, different greatness. Yep. Hello, Sherry. How are you? This Oregon Duck girl thinks Wilson will look fantastic this year and won't be in a Denver Broncos jersey. Yes. I hope you're right. If the Niners stay healthy, how many wins do I think they will have? I think they'll have double-digit wins if they stay healthy. Talking about Charles Haley, I mean, he was great with the Niners and great with the Cowboys, right? Can't wait, Grant. This is going to be great. John, do me a favor, buddy. Make sure that you're not listening to my show on Wednesday on your bike because you'll fall off. And I don't want to be responsible for your injuries that you would sustain. So make sure you're not on your bike. I'm back. New podcast with DeMarcus Cousins weekly. Oh my gosh. That's funny. That's funny. Oh my gosh. That is very funny. Baki says, I'm going to wake up half of Greece Wednesday, 3 a.m. for the announcement. I love you, Baki. How are you, buddy? You having a good time? Wednesday can't come soon enough. Wow, now I got to find my pom-poms. Yes. Yes. Ronnie Lott, on the list. On the list. On the list. Yep. No doubt. When I think of greatest defensive backs in the history of the National Football League, Ronnie Lott's definitely on the list. Make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. He is on the list. He is on the list. The Giants had the same ownership when they were good. What do you think happened? It's a great question. Poor draft picks. I think, once after the Giants won their last Super Bowl in 2011, a lot of poor drafting, bad decisions with head coaches. We start right there. I think, most teams go through down cycles, but I'm looking at like the Yankees, way too long. I'm looking at the Giants, way too long. Way too long. Ronnie Lott was my guy, and Deion Sanders did things I never saw it done before at that position. I mean, Deion was a blanket cover guy, but I mean, in terms of tackling, in terms of physicality, in terms of the whole package, I mean, and we're talking about cornerback safety, but Ronnie Lott, oh my goodness gracious. Boy. I mean, big time. Miss, when you do the Jim Rome show, his show has sadly fallen off a bit. The guy from those days don't call in anymore, and since Adam Hawk left, isn't the same. I haven't really watched the show as much as I used to, so it would be hard for me to comment on that, and just because of the time. I wasn't alive for those players, but LT was better than Singletary. Yes, I just know that Bears defense gets hyped. Well, the Bears defense, to me, and I covered that team in person. That defense, to me, was the greatest defense in the history of the National Football League for one season. In my opinion, there's never been a defense better than that. And I don't think there ever will be a defense better than that. Their front, okay, was unbelievable. Just their front. Richard Dent, Dan Hampton, Steve McMichael, the Fridge, William Perry, linebackers, Mike Singletary in the middle, Otis Wilson, Wilbur Marshall. All right? 4-3 defense with a defensive backfield that had studs everywhere. Dewerson, Fensick, Buddy Ryan, innovative. That defense, there will never be a defense like that again. That was unfreaking believable. And I covered that team. I've never seen anything like it. What's up, Hornet Horse? LT was better. LT was incredible. Quarterbacks were terrified of him. You know what? You're right about that. I remember interviewing Neil Lomax, Joe Theismann, and Ron Jaworski all during a 2-day span at Lake Tahoe. And they all talked about Lawrence Taylor, that there is not a player in the National Football League that they played against that they had to worry about and think about and game plan for like Lawrence Taylor. All three said that. Theismann said that. Jaworski said that. Neil Lomax said that. Because they were on the ground a lot with Lawrence Taylor on top of them, knocking them out, okay? In a 2-day period, they all said the same thing. So you're exactly right. You know what? How did that 85 Bears team lose a game? That blows my mind. That was the Miami game, right? Monday Night Football, Dan Marino, if I'm not mistaken. That's how. That's how. Grant, you probably don't remember, but we argued over Ryan Tannehill and Carson Palmer. You said Tannehill was better. I was wondering if you'd stick to that day. I think Palmer was much better. I think Carson Palmer was a bad quarterback. I think Carson Palmer, and I said this every year, was the most overrated quarterback in football. Never, ever, ever played well in a big game. I'm not going to jump on Ryan Tannehill's bandwagon because he wasn't very good. You're never, ever going to win with Carson Palmer as your quarterback. I said that when the Raiders got him. I said it was stupid, and it ended up being stupid. Carson Palmer was just very overrated. It's not Wednesday yet, Dennis, but it will be soon, buddy. It will be soon. Over under 10 wins for the Raiders this season? Way under. Way under. Way under. I don't know why you would think 10 wins for the Raiders. Huh? Hey, Sunrise Landing in Calusa. Go to CalusaSunrise.com. If you have not yet checked out the website, do so. And you'll look at these beautiful models from Blazona Development. No Mellorews, no homeowners, adjacent to the Calusa Golf and Country Club. Get there, I-5, Highway 45, Highway 20, excellent access. Again, go to CalusaSunrise.com, check it all out. Beautiful Sunrise Landing in Calusa. All right, so the weekend is upon us. Don't forget, all right, Tuesday, the King's Court, 3 o'clock, Rhino with Jerry Reynolds. Wednesday, right now it's scheduled for 5 o'clock, but it's Wednesday. Big time, big time, big time announcement. Big time. Big time. All right? Grant, I miss your voice on the radio. Thank you. Kind of like the Patriots not having the perfect season. Very true. Thank you, New York Giants. Do I think Carson Wentz was overrated? I know he won a Super Bowl. No, because he was a backup quarterback for the most part, right? So no. The Raiders trade for Carson Palmer was an all-time blunder. I said so the day they made the trade. Said it was one of the most ridiculous, stupid trades I'd ever seen. Raiders do have a stud running back now. Totally agree. Totally agree. Come on, Grant. We have Geno Smith now. Geno had a very nice last 2 or 3 years with Seattle, man. He was really good. Said Geno Smith's garbage. He wasn't garbage with Seattle his last 2 years. I mean, got to give the guy credit. He resurrected his career in Seattle. I give him credit for that. He was really good. Really good. And he's reunited with the coach he had there. So they're in lockstep. All right. So I'm not going to bag on Geno Smith. Thought the guy was very, very solid with Seattle. And again, I give him credit for turning his career around. All right, the weekend is upon us. Don't forget, Monday I'll be back. Tuesday, the King's Court, Rhino. Okay? And then Wednesday, I think 5 o'clock, I'll announce it officially on Monday. Huge, capital H, capital U, capital G, capital E announcement coming your way. Appreciate all of you. All right? Appreciate all of you. Have yourself a fabulous, fabulous weekend. So long, everybody.